Oye, mi gente, you're listening to the Red Lips Real Talk podcast,
where we talk about life, love, and everything in between. You already know, it's time to get real.
Dale.
Have you ever had to unlearn everything you were taught just to figure out who you really are? Hey, everyone, and welcome back to Red Lips Real Talk podcast. And in today's episode, we are discussing Educated by Tara Westover. And by the way, if you have not read the book yet, you might want to press pause and come back to this episode because we're going to be talking about the book and there may be spoilers in this episode. And just a quick heads up for this episode. Jasmine is currently enjoying a well-deserved vacation, so Monica and I are holding it down and keeping the conversation going. We definitely miss her energy, but don't worry, she'll be back soon and ready to jump right back in with us. So let's get into it. This is a story that's not just about education, but about identity, family, survival, and what it really costs to grow. Don't forget to follow, share, and send this episode to someone who needs to hear it. Educated. This is a memoir about Tara Westover. She grows up in a strict and isolated household in rural Idaho. She doesn't go to school, she's not in the system, and her world is shaped entirely by her family's beliefs. And somehow, she ends up earning a PhD from Cambridge. Let that sink in.
Wow, that's impressive. For her story?
Yeah. After you read what she's been through.
Very impressive.
It's a very powerful book.
I agree. Very impactful and emotional because you think about what she went through. You know, that you didn't go through it, but you're like, damn, what would I do if I was in that position?
Right. I mean, she brings you into her story.
Yeah.
It's intense.
It's powerful and it's definitely a hard read. Mm-hmm. If you get triggered by things like that, yeah.
Yeah. Monica, what is being educated? What does that mean to you?
Well, before I read this book...
Exactly.
It was learning, learning and applying things through school education and, the higher education degrees. But it's all, it's learning things. I don't know. What does it mean to you?
I agree with you. And I thought the same thing before I read the book. And after I read the book, it was just the word itself was just more powerful than what it already was for me. I mean, it's about knowledge,
right?
But it doesn't mean book knowledge. All kinds of knowledge, all kinds of growth. And it's just more, it's bigger. It's a bigger word for me now.
Yeah. She was raised in a strict survivalist family. So that in itself, she was very educated in all things survival.
Survival at home. Because like I said, she wasn't even in the system. She didn't go to school. She learned whatever she learned was at home, whatever her parents taught her.
So yeah, she hadn't, her family, I think the only person that had a birth certificate was her oldest brother.
Right.
Right. Because he started out in the system.
Yeah, and they
gave birth in the hospital and he got a birth certificate. He did some form of school at young age. But the rest of them, there was no birth certificates, no education, no medical care. Like they refused to do anything with government.
Right.
No driver's license.
Yeah. Her father was totally against it.
Totally against it. He was definitely one of those radical survivalists.
Yeah, definitely. And her mother went along with it.
Yeah. She just, and both of their parents didn't even raise them that way. Both of their parents were like, what the hell is
and she
wrong
was
with you people?
Delivering babies, what do you call it?
Midwifing.
She became a midwife.
Yeah.
And took her daughter with her at times, which I thought was crazy.
And
how old was she at that time? How old was she at that time? She was super young. Yeah.
7?
Imagine that.
She was young.
Yeah.
It blows my mind how you can live like that. Like, I'm all for homeschooling your kids. Like, I'm all for that. But their version of homeschool was not education. Like, they weren't being taught anything. It was more like her mom was like, okay, go do math, go do school. And her version of doing school was just basically open a book and run your fingers through 20 pages.
Yeah.
Or an hour worth of, and then she would tell her mom, okay, I did math.
Exactly.
She's like, that's great. Wow.
I mean, her father was really intense. He was just on a like forget the world out there. This is it right here. We have to protect each other, and you got to learn how to, run the junkyard and do, whatever he was doing out there. She was working hard labor at such a young age.
Yeah.
And she knew nothing else. Like, you're just closed off to the world. Like, you're just surviving.
And he did a good job with scaring the shit out of them, basically, because he was telling them stories.
Right.
Like,
They believed
I don't know if you remember.
That's all they knew.
Right. But it was a real incident. I remember this incident where the FBI they tried to serve a warrant for someone who didn't show up to court.
Right.
On weapons charges. And the husband would not surrender. The family would not surrender. There was like this whole 7-day gunfight or something like that.
Right.
One of the kids was killed. The wife was killed. And, it's the government. It was me against the government kind of thought. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, he used that.
He used that story to...
And he scared the shit out of them.
Exactly.
He basically had them packing survival backpacks, burying bullets, canning food. Like, it was like, no, we got to get all the food canned. And then she's like 5 or 6 at this point.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Like, what? I'm waking up. I'm having nightmares. Hello. And then, she was having vivid nightmares. Like, everything that he was saying that was happening to this family, she was visualizing it all as it happening to them. So she, in her mind, her mom was just shot holding a baby. And she's like, which is insane because I'm the youngest. Mm-hmm. There was no other baby. But just that whole mentality of this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen.
Exactly. Get ready.
It was all get ready mentality. Yeah.
Get ready. It's coming. One day it's coming.
And then they thought every year it was something. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got to get ready for this. It's coming. And they're preparing and then nothing happens. And then she's like, I kind of feel bad for my dad because none of his prophecies or whatever are coming true.
Right.
Like the whole Y2K thing. Mm-hmm. He was like, everything is going to break and nothing, we're going to be the only ones that have this, that, and the other. And we have to protect our land. And then 2000 came and everyone was just going back to their normal lives and nothing happened. So he was very disappointed.
And the fact that they were working, hard labor, these kids were getting hurt and you can't take them to the hospital.
Right. So for them, the hospital doctors was not a thing. Obviously, they were, they used midwives. Her mom used a midwife and she was an assistant to a midwife. And then the actual midwife moved. So she ended up becoming a midwife for the community, for people that live like them. And she was also an herbalist.
Right. She was coming up with her own herbs
growing her herbs and making concoctions of this. And
I'm not sure what it was called, but whatever she was giving. When you have your menstrual cycle and you go and have a bad headache.
She gave them something.
Some herb that she's giving. Like,
she swears it works.
It doesn't work.
So these women having babies, she's giving them her herbal stuff for pain and stuff.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Where's that fucking epidural? Like, hello.
Exactly. I can't with this.
Yeah. And obviously it wasn't legal at that time for her to be a midwife. So that was definitely kept under wraps. And
I just kept thinking to myself, like, my God, like if something was to happen.
Yeah, they had a plan. So if something happens and we have to call 911, we don't know anything. We were just here.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah. And there was a point where she had to take, I think 2 or 3 times she had to take them to the hospital because of whatever. And the doctor would ask her questions and she'd be like, I don't know, is that what happens? She'd like play dumb and they'd be like, okay, she's definitely not a midwife. And they would let her go. But for stuff like that, I guess they would use the hospital.
Right.
But just imagine.
That was like real emergency.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure she took it far before she got to that point.
But that was her mom.
Right.
Her father would probably be like, no, you don't need to take her to the hospital.
Yeah.
You'll be able to heal her.
Right.
But at one point there was a car accident. Remember that?
The car accident.
And the mom had some severe head trauma that she looked, her eyes were purple or whatever. Like she needed medical attention.
She needed medical attention and he wouldn't.
And sure enough, he went home and she could heal herself. She lived in the basement basically for months because she couldn't stand any sight of light. And there was a point where she was forgetting things. She kept calling her daughter a different name. And then when she sort of healed herself, I guess you could say, after so many months of hiding and, the brain probably healed on its own, she was still suffering from memory loss. She couldn't remember what she was putting in these recipes that she was making for her herbal medicine. So she would have to write everything down.
Yeah, that's when she started writing everything down. She's like, maybe I should write everything down.
Her daughter would have to watch her and she'd be like, nope, you already did that.
Right.
Next up. Yeah. So
that was intense.
That was crazy.
That was very intense. I'm like, what are you doing? She's gonna die.
No hospital.
How are you not taking her to the hospital? That was a real bad accident.
And they were driving without insurance because he refused to pay for insurance.
Exactly. It's a hot mess.
Yeah. She's healing herself. Okay.
Yeah. It was pretty intense. So Tyler was the first one to go to school, or there was someone before him?
No, Tyler the oldest brother.
Right. And he was the first one to educate himself through books and go to college.
He asked if he can go to school, and they didn't want him to. The dad was like, no. Because although this is it's not a book about religious beliefs, but they used the Book of Mormon and that religion.
Right.
I guess you can say, make sense of why they're doing what they're doing, why they live that way.
And it's funny because when I was reading the book, I know nothing about the Mormons' beliefs or, what they believe in, what they don't, I knew nothing about it. So as I'm reading this book, I'm like, when I finished it, I was just thinking to myself, I was like, I'm interested to learn more about this faith. Because I knew nothing about it. So I guess that part I wasn't understanding. Even though the book had nothing to do with it, it was just because I knew that that's what they were, I guess, not practicing. They were just
he considered himself practicing.
Right. He considered himself practicing. So I was just kind of like, I guess in my mind, because I don't know anything about it, I was like, are all Mormons like this? Or is this just a singled extreme case of whatever was going through his mind? And it's funny because when I finished reading the book, I saw that they had a Netflix show about the secret lives of Mormon wives. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch that next to see, maybe I don't know, learn something about it. And I mentioned it to you and you were like, yeah, no, that's not the right place to go. No. And then when I realized, I knew it was kind of like a reality show, but then I realized, I guess what kind of reality show it was. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's not, I'm not going to learn anything there.
Yeah. But I thought I thought the same thing because I caught my daughter watching it and I was like, oh, okay. And there was a scene where they're all together, all the women are together and they're all talking. Right. And I'm like, oh, so are they all married to are they all with the same man? And she looked at me, she was like, no, they all have husbands and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I know from research that some Mormons take on, in the U.S., you can only legally marry one person. Right. But they take on what they call other wives, even though they're not legally married. And they have families with these other wives and they're all living happily ever after in the home. Not all. Right. Some choose to live like that. Yeah. So I assumed when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's what this is. She's like, no. And I was like, oh. And then I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, oh, this is like a Housewives of New Jersey kind of thing going on here.
I don't know why they gave it that title.
Because they're more, supposedly they grew up Mormons, right, in the church.
That's their roots, I guess.
And she said they wanted to make it show how it can be more modern. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure the Mormon community and the church is really upset with this show.
I would think so, right? Because that's, you kind of, me, for instance, let's say I went ahead and watched the show without even mentioning it to you. I mean, I would be like, oh, wow, this is how they are. Right. And it's not. You're kind of giving a false,
But like I said, he used, because they did go to church, and he used their scriptures to justify whatever decision he was making with his kids' lives, right?
Yeah.
So whenever they wanted to go to school, whenever they say, he'd be like, well, in chapter, blah, 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 of da-da-da, it says this, and you can't do that.
Right.
So he was totally against it. And then, of course.
But then when she met up with people she knew, I guess
Not
other
all of them
Mormons
were like that, yeah.
She came to realize, well, yeah, they're not all like that, and they were going to school, and they were even surprised to hear that she's never stepped foot in a school there.
Right.
But I don't think that she really put it together at that time. She was just kind of like, well, this is just how it's done at my house.
Right, because they have a community.
Right.
Because there's people that do live like them. But I believe their homeschooling was actually real schooling.
Right.
Versus what she was getting, which was nothing. And although they didn't want to rely on government, they would if they had to, right?
Right.
They would go to the hospitals. I believe people had birth certificates because I think one of the brothers wanted to go to school. So the oldest one, Tyler, he left. He's like, I'm out. I'm going to school. He was not educated either. He didn't have the means to, but he taught himself.
Right.
He bought books. He taught himself trigonometry, which is amazing. And he took the ACT, he passed, and he went to college.
Right.
And he was gone.
And his dad was not fond of that.
No, they kind of like were like, oh, you're dead to me kind of thing with him. So he left, and she figured he's never coming back. That's it. I basically don't have a brother, right? That was the idea of he's gone. That's it. Then there was another brother who wanted to go to school. So I think they were going to let him go, and he needed a birth certificate. Mm-hmm. And her mom was like, okay, so we'll just get birth certificates for everyone because you're of age, right?
Right.
They don't even know when they were born.
That's crazy.
Her birthday that she's always known to be in September, she's not sure if she was actually born on that day.
Right.
And they had no idea. Eventually they did. They came up with a date, and her grandmother signed an affidavit. This is the date. They went by, I guess, the church, because she had a date. Tara had a date. The grandmother had a date. And then when they went to church to get the documents from the baptism, they had a totally different date.
Right.
So they were trying to
figure it out.
Finally, they got it, and she got a birth certificate. But I was like, how do you? Okay, fine. You don't want to be part of the government.
Okay, so then that goes back to, is it just this particular family? Again, I don't know anything about Mormons. Is it this particular family, or do Mormons celebrate birthdays? Or is it just this particular family that if you don't have a birth certificate, then you don't know when you're born, then they obviously didn't celebrate birthdays, right?
They didn't, I guess.
So then because I don't know anything about the Mormon faith, do they?
I believe they do.
I don't know.
Let me Google that.
I was just thinking, because that's while I'm reading the book, I think I was just going back and forth with that religion. What are the things that they can and cannot do, or do they celebrate this and not celebrate that, or are they go to homeschool like a lot of them? A lot of them do homeschool? But I'm seeing that her particular family was a bit extreme in, I guess, her dad's beliefs, and the fact that he didn't trust anything and anybody.
I believe they do celebrate birthdays, just like they celebrate Christ, because they believe in Jesus Christ. Right. That's the difference between them and other Christian is, as a Christian, we believe the Father, Son, Holy Ghost is one, one entity. They believe it as three entities. So 3 different entities.
Okay.
That would be the difference. We go by the Bible. They do some of the Bible, but they also have a Book of Mormon that was written by some John something. Okay. I can't remember his name. But, they use both.
Right.
I know that they can't have caffeine.
They can't have caffeine?
Yeah. That, and he...
I can't. I can never be a Mormon.
I know. And he tried to say in the book, he tried to say they couldn't have milk either.
Really?
Right? So they were drinking milk for all these years. And then he goes and he reads scripture and he's like, oh, can't have milk.
Can't have milk.
And the wife was like, what? But she followed along.
She followed along with
So you're having cereal with water and now you're having mud.
Oh,
okay.
Lord have mercy.
So Indita, she used to sneak away to her grandmother's house.
Right. Grandma going to give it to you.
Because her grandmother was like, I know, you're trying to tell, her son's like trying to tell me I can't have milk. Hold on a second. And she went and bought a whole shitload of milk and kept it in her fridge just to like.
Right.
Because she was like, what is wrong with you? You were not brought up that way. That is not true. But yeah. So other Mormons drink milk. He just said, you know. So
he read something.
He's taking it to a whole nother level.
Right.
He's being, I guess what you would, just like how you would have radical Christianity, radical Islam, you have radical Mormon over there.
Yeah.
Because I know that there's survivalists. There's people that live on compounds. They, they don't want to pay taxes. They don't want to do this. So they're like they don't exist, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's people that live like that. But well, this book is real. And they were living like that. They were living like that.
It's just crazy to read about it because, you know about it. You know people live like this. We watch movies too, but just to read her memoir and, just wow. I mean, she kind of, when you read a book, you get brought into the story.
The world,
in their world. And you kind of envision yourself in it, which is quite intense.
It is.
And so at some point she decides she wants to go to college.
Right. Well, she had been saying it, and then her father would say
right,
something.
Of course, he would always...
She'd be like, no, never mind.
Mm-hmm. Discourage her from it.
But there was a point where her brother Tyler came back.
Yeah.
And he was like, you need to get out of here.
And he would talk to her about his world, his new world.
Yeah.
And she was intrigued by it. She was interested in hearing it all.
And she was like, well, I'm not educated, right? She was,
right.
I probably couldn't, because she wanted to go to high school. And he's like, you can't, you won't be able to graduate.
Right.
Like, you need to just go to college. And she's like, well, I won't be able to get in. He's like, yeah. Because basically you tell them that you were homeschooled and you tell them that you learned everything and they're going to take your word for it, right? At that point, homeschooling is like, what? I just need to sign a document saying, yes, I meet all the criteria.
Right.
Right. And you need to just pass this test and you get into school. He made it sound so simple.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it. And so she ended up getting her books. She went and bought books to learn how to do things, or math and science, whatever. So she was teaching herself. And I guess it was funny. Algebra, right? And she's looking at it and she's like, where are the numbers? Right. So she goes to her mom, who was her homeschool teacher, right?
Right.
She's like, oh, honey, that's algebra. And she's like, how do you do it? And she tries to do it and they're both wrong. She's like, I don't know. Like,
right.
So she went and bought a book on algebra to learn how to do algebra.
Right.
Because I guess the first book she bought was the ACT study guide practice.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So she started buying books and teaching herself. But her brother did help her because he stayed around for a little bit. And he helped her with the trigonometry, taught her how to do things. And so from there on, she just kept pushing through. And she took the test for the first time. And that was her first time going into, I guess you could say, population, right? Because she walked in, she's like, okay, there's all these people. Everyone knows what to do. They sit down, they get their pencils out. They give her the sheet with the bubbles. And she's like, what is this?
Exactly.
She's just like, it's your bubble sheet.
It's your bubble sheet. She doesn't know what to do with it.
I've never used one before. And she gave her this look like, are you serious?
Right.
And she's like, circle the bubbles. So the answer, make it dark.
Yeah.
And so she did.
Imagine that.
The crazy shit is you need what, a 27? You need to score 27 to get into the school, I think it was. She got a 22.
Right.
On her first.
I know, your first try. That's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
You're really, really close. And that was amazing. I was just kind of like, you cool, girl?
So she was still, instead of being discouraged, she was like, well, okay, I did 22. I just need to hit the books more.
Right.
Study more. And she did.
Yeah.
And then she got her 27 and she applied to school.
Just like that.
And she got in. But when she got there, it was a whole nother story.
That's a whole other world, another experience.
Because you're not educated in the sense of that world.
Yeah.
So, you come across as ignorant.
Right.
And sometimes racist.
Right. Well, because you're growing up in a family that doesn't believe in a lot of things. And, she's watching people and how they're dressing. I mean, she was not allowed to dress like that. God forbid she shows her shoulder or a little bit of skin. She had who give her shit about it.
There was at one point where she was working in the junkyard and it's hot and in the summer and she's sweating. So she rolled up her long sleeve.
Right.
And her father gave her shit.
Exactly.
And he pulled down her shirt. And he's like, you're not a whore. Like,
exactly. So you're putting that in her brain. Now she's in, regular society and she's seeing all these women dressed the way they're dressed. And she's like, wow, like they're all whores.
Yeah. That's her thought.
And that's her thought. And because that's all she knows.
Yeah.
Because her dad and
her
brother would give her shit about showing any kind of skin.
Like he let her do dance class. Remember that?
Right.
When she was younger, she went and did some dance classes.
Right.
And then when it came time to buy the leotard, like her mom bought it for her. Like she took her out of town. She bought it for her and was like, hide it in your room. Don't let your father see this.
Yeah.
I mean, pobrecita. And so she had to wear, but she ended up wearing a t-shirt, oversized t-shirt over her leotard.
Exactly. Because she felt
dirty.
Well, because you feel, exactly. I mean, it gets into your head. I mean, I think everybody has a little degree of that. Like, those little thoughts in your head where you're like, oh, I don't look good. Some people don't like the way they look in tank tops.
Right.
For whatever reason. So you got these little things. But she had her father and her brother just kind of instilling these things in her brain. She was just molded that way.
Yeah.
Right? So going into society and you're just wearing a tank top, you're a whore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
short sleeve. Not even a tank top.
Yeah, just a short sleeve.
Short sleeve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It is so crazy.
I know. But me da pena because I know that going into that world,
it was difficult.
It was.
Yeah, because now you're somewhere. I'm sorry. Where was it that she went again?
BYU.
BYU, right? And she's far away from home. She's staying in a dorm. And, now you're in this whole new world. People are dressed the way they are. People act the way that they do. And she's embarrassed to even say that she won't even say that she's never been to school. And, just like anybody else, sometimes you'll catch a cold. What do? You get sick. Your mom's not there to give her the herbs. She meets somebody who gives her Advil, right?
Yeah. She's like,
remember her taking Advil for the first time?
Yeah.
She was scared. I don't think she took it at first until he kept telling her, it's going to help you. Right. This is going to help you.
I can't. Pobrecita.
She's like, no, I need my mom's herbs.
Which, I mean, I'm sure there is some truth to her natural remedies, right? Because they've been around since before we have. But if you have something at your fingertip that's going to help you with the pain, even though your natural medicine is not,
right?
Take the damn thing.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Your mom's not there to see you anymore.
Pobrecita.
Yeah, that was something though. It was just crazy to see her, just her eyes kind of open up to this new world and get used to it.
I'm sure she felt like she wanted to crawl under the dirt and die. Like
Plenty of times.
But she stuck it out.
Yeah.
She's a strong person, especially to live how she lived with her father.
Right.
Like to get through that.
But I believe that living through that is what made her such a strong person, because you can't go through all of that and not be a strong person. I mean, she had an accident at the junkyard, right? She got hit really bad. I mean, she couldn't go to the hospital. Her mom had to cure her.
Oh my God. Remember the part where the son, her brother. Yeah,
Sean.
Was it Sean?
Yeah, he's the one. He fell off of.
No, the before that, the one that was burned. He had an accident. I guess they were prepping for something, and it was when that. I think it was when that family had that problem. So after that, they were prepping. So he wanted to store gasoline, right? So they were trying to get the gasoline out of the junk car,
right? And
I don't know what happened. Gasoline fell on her brother. It dried up, and he went on about his merry day, went and had lunch, went back to work. And when he ignited something to cut, he was in flames.
Right.
And he panics. Obviously, he's a kid on fire. So he starts running through the field, right, which is already dry brush.
Mm-hmm.
And so that starts burning. So according to her, I guess her father puts him in the car, presses the gas, and has him drive himself to the house. Go see your mother.
Imagine that.
And he's burnt, like his clothes are burnt to him.
Oh my God.
And then he stays back to save the field. So this kid shows up screaming, and she's there. Tara's there. Her mother left. I don't know where she went. She hears screaming, and she's like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
She comes out, and it's him. And so she's trying to help him because he's in pain, and he's burning, and everything is burning. And so she's trying to remember what her mom would do. And she ends up getting a garbage can, filling it with water, wraps his leg or whatever that was on fire with a garbage bag because she didn't want it to get infected, and puts him in the garbage. They put him in the garbage can. So he's just sitting there until his mom comes home, and then she takes care of him. No hospital. So
it's insane.
Again, I mean, her tinctures, her herbal medicine must have had some healing power.
Maybe it did, but how long does that take?
Well, poor kid, he could have got a shot of morphine.
If you get exactly, but something that could probably help you within the hour. She's giving you some herbs or creams that she made that take days. Yeah. It's just,
But the pain, it doesn't help with pain. That's the thing.
Yeah, it doesn't help. It doesn't help with pain. But I'm just going back to Tara. I mean, like, how are you not a strong person after all of that? After seeing what you've seen, and going what you've been going through. I mean, it was not an ideal way to grow up, but it did give her some good, strong genes there to kind of tackle whatever comes at you and get through it. I would like to believe that, that gave her that, at least something
she got that
good.
Yeah,
that she got out of that was to, just take everything head on. I mean, just imagining going into this world that you don't know nothing about, and she's constantly doubting herself and telling herself that, she doesn't deserve to be there.
Right.
Which is,
And she did rely on her faith too.
Right.
Because she would say, I'm here because God wanted me to be here.
Right.
Or that didn't happen because God didn't want it to happen.
Yeah.
So she had some form of faith. But I mean, this experience that she went through definitely set her up for her success, I guess, in life, because I don't think anything could get thrown at this girl.
No. Right.
No matter what people say and how they try to put her down or whatever. It's like, okay, no, she's moving forward and moving on. If you go through all that, nothing can come at you.
Right, exactly.
And try to break you.
Yeah, because, I mean, this book, getting back to her brother and her father too, I mean, this book, it has heavy moments of abuse and denial within the family and struggles of speaking up versus staying loyal. And and her brother was something else.
Yeah, her brother Sean.
Her brother Sean was something else. And I swear that boy had 9 lives because the amount of accidents and shit that he's been through, and he just comes back. He keeps coming back. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy. But he was very controlling and like, just kept her in line, and not in a very nice way at all.
No, because at first he was like her best friend.
Yeah.
They were really close. And I know that there was a part where his older brother he was a truck driver, and his wife had to be on bed rest. So he had to go home. So he couldn't drive.
Right.
So Sean drove for him, and she went on the road with him, and they had their bonding time. They had their moments, and it was happy time for her.
Yeah.
And then he just flipped.
He changed.
He just became obsessive, abusive,
emotionally, psychologically, and physically.
But although, I mean, he was known for that in the community, right? For like always starting problem, getting in trouble. I think he was even arrested a couple times.
Yeah.
So yeah, he took it out on everyone, even the family. But he was abusive to her, controlling, but then also protective.
Right. It was very confusing for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't understand it, but I think once she got into this new world and started learning a lot of things, about behavior and how people treat each other.
Mental illness. And yeah, she started even reading into all these different behaviors when it comes to mental illness and kind of putting things together. And, she started to recognize some of these behaviors. Yeah, like bipolar.
And we're talking about not only her brother Sean, but her father as well. And she started to kind of understand their behaviors a little bit in the sense of mental illness, kind of piece it together that way, which is quite an eye-opening moment for her.
Yeah.
And the hard part is that her mother just always dismissed it, It was always, I think her brother did a good job at trying to keep it private. He never really did anything in front of the mother.
Except when he tried to kill her.
When did he try to?
He was choking her.
Oh, that's right.
She woke up to him.
She was there? The mother was there?
Yeah, she was.
Okay, see, I don't
she was
remember
there.
that.
She was yelling, trying to get him to stop. And he wouldn't. That was actually...
She was visiting, wasn't she?
No, Tyler
She was still there. Oh.
Tyler came at that point. And he's the one that was like, what is going on here?
Right. He came to her rescue.
Yeah. And then Sean was like, oh, forget it. Like left. And But I mean, I don't even know why he did that to her. She doesn't even know why he did that to her. It was it was a form of rage. It had to do with her, I guess, wearing lip gloss. Because at this point, she was trying things. So she tried on mascara.
Older, and she liked somebody in town.
She talked to a boy.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, why are you talking to him?
Right.
We're going to get the wrong idea. And
exactly.
She's like, I'm just talking. And
she was growing up. She was going, getting into her little feminine side. And, you want to look cute.
But that's not allowed.
That's not allowed.
In their household.
And he tore her down for it.
He went crazy. Yeah.
Which is crazy because, I mean, it was really hard to read those moments of, the specific incidents that she went through, like those moments. It's
tough.
Yeah. You kind of get angry. It makes you angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you're reading it, because you're just kind of like, oh my God, like run away.
Right.
But that's all she knows, that this is her family. And then he'll turn around and be protective.
So when her father's doing something, he's protecting her from the dad.
Yeah.
Like, she'll get hurt there. Don't do that. Let me do whatever. But so he plays protective and then possessive, controlling.
Yeah. But he's been through some shit himself. How many times that man got hurt? And the last injury that he had, I was just kind of like, when she found him in the street.
Yeah.
I'm saying, okay, that's it.
He's dead.
He's dead. I don't want to say finally, because that's so mean. But because he had been through so many accidents, so many things that had happened to him, I'm like, he ain't getting out of this one. But he did.
He did.
He came out of that one. He came out of that one. And I'm like, what? And he didn't go to the hospital neither.
No, that one
he did, right? She took him. That's right. She took him to the hospital.
She called dad and he was like, bring him home. Mom will take care of him.
Right. And she was like,
she's
no.
like, no, you don't understand. Like, his brain is coming out of his head. Like,
I was like,
and he's like, yeah, no, your mom will take care of it. And she's like, okay. And so she's about to go home and she's like, wait a minute, no, I'm taking him to the hospital. And so she ended up going to the hospital. And although the injury looked bad, it wasn't as bad as it looked. Right. So.
Well, he was still there.
He was
still
there.
Made it, of course.
He heals up. And at that point, she feels like she betrayed her family. She feels so bad
for taking him. She
betrayed her family because she took him to the hospital that she decided she's leaving. She's going to school.
Right.
So she left because she felt like she betrayed them.
Right.
Which is sad.
Very.
Like you did the right thing. Mm-hmm. And you only did what you care about your brother. You want him to survive. You do the right thing. And her father didn't even look at her. He gave her like the silent treatment.
I know herbs going to help him. He needed the hospital.
Needs stitches.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess that was the good thing because it got her out because she's like, okay, no, I got to go now. No, I got to go.
No, she got to go. And it was good that she did that.
I remember a part of that book before that happened when she applied and she got in. Her father was so pissed off at her.
Yeah.
When it was a decision she made, like, I'm going to go to school. He started arguing, well, if that's what she wants to do, she needs to move out and get her own place. She's old enough. And her mom's like,
you got to go.
Can you move out by Friday?
Yeah. You got to go. You got to go now.
And she's like, well, where am I supposed to go? I only have $400. Like, she's like, I don't have any money. I gave him my money. Because he said I had to pay him rent. He said I had to pay this. He said, so I gave him my money. What am I going to do? I have no money. And she's like, oh, well, when I was your age, I was living on my own and marrying your dad. She's like, you married dad at 16? Her mom's like, you're not 16. I was like, yes, I am. She's like, no, aren't you like 20? Oh, she's like, no, I'm 16. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, your father's crazy. You can't leave. Like, what? That's what, like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is insane. I said I would like to be one of those people that could survive in the apocalypse, right? That was my train of thought. I want to learn how to do all these things on my own. I want to be able to do this. I want to, okay.
Are you getting ready for it?
No. No. Reading this book, I'm like.
You're nowhere near it.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Do I want to live like that?
I would not survive it. I'll tell you that right now. I'll probably be one of the first ones to go. I would.
Man.
There's no way.
But the crazy thing is, there's people that live like this.
Right. There are people who live like this.
It's not just them. There's families that live like this, and they do it. It's crazy. But you grow up just like us, how we grow up, knowing certain things, growing up a certain way for us.
Right. I mean, it's not nowhere intense. Nowhere as intense as that.
Not
but
at all.
Our parents did scare the shit out of us with a bunch of things.
Right. But this is what you know. You
right. That's what we know.
That's what you know. Mm-hmm. And then you become a certain age and you're like, no.
Right.
That's not how it is.
Exactly.
And it's minimal shit because we did not go through this.
No, that's what I mean. Like, not intense like that. But there's things that as you get older, you realize, no, it's not like that.
So when 9/11 happened, he's telling her all about 9/11, the dad, and she had no idea what that was.
Yeah.
Right? Because she never heard of it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, the biggest event that happened in the United States?
Right.
How do you not? I guess they didn't have television.
Yeah. Do you think that her mom realized the impact that they were having on her? Like, because I think that sometimes she had some moments of, helping her, like behind, like, hey, okay, yeah, I'm going to, like when she got her the outfit for the dance, or she knew she was studying for college. Yeah, she knew. She knew
because when she said she wasn't sure she was going to go to school, her mom was like, no, you need to get out.
Right. Yeah.
You're pushing her to go. There's something wrong.
Exactly.
But you're okay with it.
Yeah.
And then you got 2-3 younger kids still there. Like, because I think she has a sister that grew up in that and chose that life, right? She chose to stay, marry.
Right.
And she was miserable. I don't know. But her mom knew. Her dad, he's a whole nother level of crazy.
Well, I think also she also showed her mother that there was potential there for her to do so, for her to go to college. She was, not like her sister, because her sister, like you say, followed along with.
She did everything. She just stayed
within the
family dynamic. She
right.
stayed in that lane.
She stayed in
any desire.
Right. But Tara showed something different, and And with Tyler already going to college, I feel like, her mom was like, you have the potential to do this. You're showing me that.
Yeah.
And go. Yeah. Do something different. Do you think that her mom was afraid of what Sean may do?
Maybe.
Yeah. Because, he was so abusive.
But that's how he was with his wife.
His wife, too.
Yeah. I think because she told her, she was like, I thought you were going to be the first one to get out of here.
Right.
She said, I didn't expect it from Tyler, but I expected it from you. Mm-hmm. So you need to go.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she did.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she had Tyler to help her, push her. And even when she went away to college, she got lucky. She met people that also saw the potential in her and pushed her to do her best as well and to keep going. Because, and made her feel like she did belong there. She had those little hopes, those little signs from people that she met along the way that kind of gave her that possibility of, I can do this.
Now, you know how you asked that question about her mom. Does she know that she did? Mm-hmm. I think she did. I think she knew the impact she had on her daughter, on her children.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she cared as much as a parent should.
Right.
Because after she came out with this book, her mom wrote her own book.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you read that book?
No. It was from what I heard, it was like a clapback.
Wow.
But I
did not know that.
You're pushing her to go to school. You're pushing her to get out.
Right.
You're telling her she's got to go, which means the environment that she's in is not right. Mm-hmm. At least in my opinion, because there were times where she would kind of like the whole dance thing.
But
she let her daughter do dance.
Right.
And she told the dance teacher for the recital she would not be allowed to wear these things. But if, I guess, t-shirt.
A t-shirt over, right.
So the uniform, all the girls, everybody else was wearing little leotards and sparkly shit. And then her dance class had to wear the leotard with a big oversized t-shirt over it because of her, right? But nobody said anything. It was like, okay, the girls didn't like it, but whatever. And her dad did go to the recital and watch the whole thing.
Right.
And holy mother, he blew up in the car and he was like, had these little harlots, and he's like naming all these things and saying, how could she? And then the mom jumps on the bandwagon.
Right.
Like, oh my God, I had no idea.
Yeah.
She's like playing both roles.
Mm-hmm, which is really confusing.
Yeah.
But then when you're, when you're in that relationship, she's going to push her daughter a little bit here and there, but she's not always going to motivate her or, stand firm in her decision and, giving her that little push because that's the relationship, that's the marriage that she's in.
Right. So if her dad would have said, no, you can't go to school, mom would have been like, yeah, no, you can't go to school.
Right.
Even though she's like, no, you got to go to school. Mm-hmm. She would have just followed dad.
Right. But I think sometimes maybe she didn't expect it to really happen. You know what I mean? Like, you push somebody just because, you want to say nice things to them, but you really don't think they're going to go through with it. And that may have what happened between the two of them, between mother and daughter, where, she's going to give her daughter some encouraging words, but she ain't going to do it. You know what I mean? Like, so it could be that at the end of the day, maybe she thought Tara ain't going to go through with it, or she'll be back.
Yeah.
She's not going to make it out there. She'll be back. Come to find out,
She did not. She left.
But
that was it.
Her educating herself, opened her mind to a whole new world. And that growth, made her realize a lot of the things that she was going through was not right. It wasn't right for her to go through that. And they were not okay.
Do you think her choosing herself was selfish?
No. Not at all. Now that she had all this knowledge and she knew what was happening to her, it wasn't right. I believe that she made the absolute best choice in choosing herself. It is very unfortunate that her family made her even choose between them and herself.
Right.
That's really sad, but
that's what you get in a toxic household like that.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, some people don't. They just stay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when she still loves her family.
Yeah, because I know after being out there, she would come back to visit, even though it wasn't a warm welcoming.
Exactly.
She never got a warm welcoming.
But she still loved her family. Yeah. I mean, you still love your family. She still loved her family. She would still come back and visit. So she chose herself. And that's one of the biggest themes in this book is her identity. Her learning about herself, growing, and the decisions that she had to make in that education. Right? where she got to a point where it's like who you are. You know, she got to realize who she was once all of that from home got stripped away. Like, who are you, Tara, without that? And that's huge. I mean, she went through a process of not just learning, but unlearning everything that she knew, right? Everything that she knew, she had to unlearn. So I think this book kind of makes you, I mean, I don't know for you, but for, you know, like I thought about that this book kind of makes you reflect on your own life, you know, like the things, how we grew up, our beliefs. I think you mentioned it earlier, like, you know, we learn things when we're younger, and then as you get older, you're like, oh, that's not always like, it's not like that. Like, right. You know, why did I think that all the time? Because we were brought up that way. So the idea of what really means to become your own person, you know, like Tara just, that's what the book kind of brought out in her, you know, and it's not, you know, if you haven't read the book, we probably gave you a bunch of spoilers, but it's not a light read neither, you know, with what she goes through, but it's a very powerful book.
Yeah. I mean, it made me realize how many people are out there living lives that don't actually belong to them, right? They're living the life that their parents are having them live.
Yeah.
And
you kind of get trapped in that sometimes. And like some of her siblings, they just kind of follow the path, and you kind of get trapped in that lifestyle. Or you can learn to spread your wings and fly. One of the quotes from this book that I thought was pretty powerful, it says, "You can love someone and still choose to say goodbye to them," she says now. "You can miss a person every day and still be glad that they are no longer in your life." And I thought that was like, wow, it's how many times have you had to say goodbye to somebody that means a lot to you in your life? I mean, I think we've done it quite often, you know what I mean? You know, in relationships and friendships and family sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Where you just had to say goodbye to someone you love, and it doesn't mean you don't love them anymore, right? And I think that line captures the heart of the story, that sometimes growth doesn't mean you stop loving people. It just means that you're choosing yourself.
Choosing to love yourself.
You're choosing to love yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. So if we leave you with anything today, it's this. Growth is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Education is not just about school. It's about awareness. And you are allowed to outgrow the version of yourself you were raised to be. This book, Educated by Tara Westover, it isn't just a story about going to school. It's about what happens when you start to see your life differently. It's about questioning what you were taught, finding your voice, and realizing that growth can be both empowering and incredibly painful. So just remember, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to evolve, and it's okay to choose yourself, even when it's hard.
Hasta la próxima.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode.
We will be dropping an episode every 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. No, like seriously, subscribe now.
So just chill to the next episode. Follow us on Insta and TikTok.
Hasta la próxima.